Yeah, yeah. Y'all know, y'all already know what it is, man. We ain't even look.
My brother.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So the man is here, the man of the hour, man, the man of the East Coast, dog. You understand? We here.
My
My
brother.
man, Swaggy, my bro, my East Coast bro, man. 4 years. This guy right here is a living legend.
Is it 4 years? I thought it was longer than that.
4 years. Yeah, it probably was going on 5, bro.
Smidge, yeah.
You know, a lot of skits and a few Big Brother seasons, man. Later, we here.
Yeah, we here, brother. We here. I'm happy to be here, man. Blessed to be here, man. Appreciate you having me.
So just to give a little intro for my man's right here, man. If y'all don't know who this guy is, this is like the Pied Piper, right, of trading world, dog. You understand? This guy has been an inspiration to many millions of people around the world in regards to trading. He's been giving people the tools, man, the golden nuggets in regards to being professional and successful traders. This guy has multiple accolades, such as Big Brother. You understand? The first black couple, him and Bailey, on there, and they've been making noise ever since, man. And I just want to introduce y'all to my man, my brother, Swaggy C. Welcome, bro. Welcome.
Like I said, I'm blessed to be here, bro.
Yes, sir. So, right off the bat, bro, how you been, bro? What's going on, man? Like, you know, fill me in. How you been, bro?
Bro, life has been good. I'm in my we have 2 penthouses now in Los Angeles, and I'm in my office one right now. You see the quotes and the canvases behind me. You know, I live by them every single day, and I really can't complain. Like I said, life is better than it's ever been. My family's healthy; they're happy. That's which is most important. I'm learning valuable lessons every single day. Like I just posted on Instagram that I just learned a valuable lesson about family. You know, right? Because like when you get to the top and where you want to get to, you tend to, you don't forget your family, but you kind of like lock in too much on work, So, so I'm still learning and growing day by day, but life has been amazing, bro.
Bro, that's amazing to hear, man. And you said 2 penthouses?
Yeah, this the
you talking about the man that was in the attic apartment?
They don't even know, bro. Third floor.
Bro. That right there. Oof, look, man, I got goosebumps, bro. You understand? Like that right there is
nobody knows.
That don't motivate y'all right now, bro. Like I don't know what to tell y'all. This man, I seen what this man had to come through, bro. And
I think it will because unless you step foot in that attic, right? I don't know if you know how bad it really was, bro.
Yo, trust me, bro. I was there to see it, bro. I seen you go through it, bro, and to see you get out that and get to where you are in life, bro. And this brings us to what I'm about to tell you right now, man. So if you don't mind, bro, tell us, the watchers, the viewers, about who Swaggy C is, bro.
Swaggy C is a character, right? Swaggy C is a character who I live by my alter ego. My real name is Chris, and Chris had a crazy childhood. I had a brother, I had my dad, and we grew up very, very poor. We traveled from North Carolina to Connecticut back and forth, and moving in and out of schools, in and out of homeless shelters, in and out of sleeping in cars. Like you name it, we've done it. 6 years old, 9 years old, and to the point where we were homeless at 13. Right, I was going to 8th grade class, and knowing I didn't have a place to stay at night or a place to eat. People would ask me, or they wouldn't even ask me, but like come in the cafeteria, I would try to eat extra, right? Or I'd make sure that I was taking care of myself, and then I always dread going back home. Because when I got off the school bus, I knew people were walking to their home and I'm walking to the shelter. And nobody knew it, right? But stuff like that, right? And then I get to college and my dad goes into a coma, so I end up living with my mom. And then
where you from? Tell them where you from.
Bridgeport, Connecticut, man.
Stand up, man. Stand up, dog.
Bridgeport. I'm proud to be from Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Live with my mom, finished my last few years in high school. And then I get to college, and I went through like a pretty bad breakup. So I ended up creating a character called Swaggy C for no reason at all. But I guess that was the reason. And I grew my hair out. Like my hair is short right now. Like if you see it, like I got waves and stuff. But grew my hair out, crazy. Had slits in my eyebrow. I went through a crazy phase, but that's who Swaggy C was. And then I ended up just growing in my craft. I ended up learning how to trade at 19. Started studying investing and finance, and then got on TV, got off TV, quit TV, and started honing in my craft and what I really love to do.
I hear that, right? So this man literally created something out of nothing, bro. So what he came through, I just want y'all to understand what he just talked about, man. This is an unspoken story that a lot of people go through, and this is something y'all can take heed from in regards of getting through what y'all getting through, no matter what. This guy is the epitome of perseverance, right? He's standing in front of you, multi-millionaire. Now we're gonna get into that a little later on. You feel me? We're gonna get into that later on. But you know what I really want to ask you is, like, growing up, like, what was your dreams, man? Like, and are you living them out right now?
Yeah. So what's crazy is my goal when I was young was to be funny, but it was to be rich, and it was really to be. It was never to be a billionaire. It was to be just a simple millionaire. Like that was my dream when I was 5 years old, because I thought millionaire was the highest you can get to. I didn't even know billionaires existed, right? I thought, wow, you're a billionaire. You're not a billionaire. You're a millionaire. You're rich. You got nothing to worry about. And every single day I had to worry about food to eat, clothes to wear, new socks, ripped socks, and trying to get new ones. Like I had to worry about that. So I told myself that I want to get to a point where one day I have so much money that that's never have to be my issue or my worry, right? My kids don't got to worry about it. My wife don't got to worry about it. I can be a provider. I don't got to worry about it. And then everything else will fall into place. So fortunately, growing up, I never had like a concrete dream. Like I want to be into politics or be in the NBA. My dream was to be rich. That was my only dream.
That's deep, man. Because growing up where we from, man, like, we have similar backgrounds, and I can understand to the crazy extent what you meant by just having that dream of being rich. That means, like, all you really wanted to do was provide and have something for yourself and for your family, bro. Literally. And for you to say that, it speaks volumes, because most people that come from where we come from have that, right? But, it takes going through obstacles. It goes through doing things that most people want to get to a place most people don't. You understand? So what I see in you is that you literally took the alternate route and did opposite of what everybody else is doing, which is why you stand in your own world doing what you're doing, being a full-blooded entrepreneur. And just to piggyback off that, I want to ask you, what is the truths behind being a full-blooded entrepreneur? What are the ins and outs? What are the ups and downs that you face daily as being a full-blooded entrepreneur?
It's a tough question. Just off the top of my head, I just know that a lot of people underestimate, really being an entrepreneur. People call themselves an entrepreneur when they really aren't. Like they underestimate how much work it takes in really being an entrepreneur to get to where you want to get to. And they severely underestimate how much work, it takes to stay at that level. Because anybody can be a one-hit wonder and get there, right? Anybody can, make $1 million real quick or do whatever. Anybody can do that. But to stay there, that's another level. And number two, most importantly, what I talked about earlier is family, right? Like there are a lot of friends and family who, kind of suffer, right? I listened to Kobe Bryant, and he was like, those relationships, some of them or most of them suffer, right? And it's not like the closest of friends, because that really won't suffer. But it's like friends who you were cool with 5 years ago, who you were close with then, but then as years went on, you slowly drifted apart. Those relationships suffer because now you're so locked in. You don't even have time for basic conversations anymore, right? I know if my brother calls me, or even Jones, my best friend, calls me, it's easy.
Shout out to Jones.
Shout out to the homie, right? I know if he calls me, it's lit, right? Yeah. I know somebody I haven't talked to in 2 years hits me up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Somebody that I'm a cool friend with, but like I got stuff that I'm doing right now that I can't really entertain. It suffers, unfortunately, until I'm free, because I have like billion right now. I got on this side. I got $1 billion goals right now, and people don't understand that when you're an entrepreneur, your goals tend to fluctuate. And I'm gonna finish in a second. I don't want to over talk when it comes to this answer, but I have a lot of answers for this question. They don't understand that their goal may be to make $1 million, and then you make that in month 5, and then what? You're gonna like settle, but then you also realize that $1 million is not a lot of money. You realize that very quick. When you hit $1 million, you're like, that's not a lot of money, especially with new things you want to get, houses you want to get, cars you want to get. You realize $1 million is not a lot of money. You're in a whole different tax bracket. Yeah, you're in a different tax bracket now. So like I'm with friends who have made 30 and 50 and 60, and I'm at 7, 8, and I'm just like, wow, I'm thinking I'm good. They over here with 50 and 60, and they say they don't really got money like that because they're looking at the people with 100. So it's unfortunately it's a never-ending cycle where you're like, I got to get more and more and more, which sucks as well. Yes. But you can also be very, very complacent and lose everything you've got. That's number two. And lastly, I'll say, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, is that, it is very, very lonely, right? Like, I don't, now I have a balance, but when I first was coming up, even my relationship with my wife Bailey, was taking its time because I would spend 14 hours locked in. And yeah, she would see the benefits. Like, we'd get a bigger house and we'd have millions, but then also we'd spend an hour of quality time together at the end of the day. So I had to readjust that, start hiring employees to do a lot of work for me so I can spend a lot of time with my wife, right? So it's a lot of things that comes with being an entrepreneur. It's a lot of ups and downs. People don't understand.
Something that you said that hit a nerve for me is something that I go through a lot, which I know what you meant. And it's called, like, when you drift away from certain people. It's like, and family too. It's called, like, survivor's guilt. It's funny because I was talking about that with one of my brothers today, and I was like, something that most people who are the black sheep that stand out the most, and when they get to certain, barometers and levels in life, they go through something called survivor's guilt, where they know they're on the high. They know they're flowing. They know they're succeeding. They know they're doing all these great things, right? But the reality of it all is that you can't share it with everybody.
You really can't.
Can't.
You really can't. And
that's go ahead. I'm listening.
I know what you got to say.
No, what I was gonna say is that I see that a lot, and the thing is, I go through that, like, every year. I know I climb up higher to my goals, and the higher I climb, the more I got to cut people off. Not just because I don't like them. It's more so literally I'm busy and I'm trying to break cycles. I'm not out here to play any type of games.
Yeah,
I know the battles I had to fight alone, with people, whatever. I understand the battles that I had to fight and what I got to equip myself with for battles to come. So sometimes it means if I'm driving the bus and I got, Bobby, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike in the back, right? Bobby gonna have to get off on this stop, and Ricky gonna have to get off the next stop.
I say that all the time. That's actually one of the things I say, but I use a train when it comes to my life. I say my life is a one-way train. It's going all the way to, hopefully, heaven, but hopefully it's just a one-way train, right?
Yeah.
And people have gotten on at different parts as it's going. You stop, people gotten on, and then they may have moved a couple seats up, down, whatever. But at one point, that train stopped and people forcefully got off. People, when I was either nice to them or I loved them, or maybe I put too much pressure on them as a friend or a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, they couldn't handle me and they left. And I would reach out and they would ignore me several times.
Yep.
I'm doing now. That train is not coming back. There's so many people who hit me up from high school and was like, "Yo, Swag, you're doing it big now." I know. I put it in the yearbook that I was going to be the richest person from the school.
Just for the record, he really did do that. He definitely did that. I saw the yearbook. I was there to bro.
Why are you hearing that? So my yearbook actually says, whether you hate me or you love me, you'll always remember me because I'm the most memorable kid to walk into school. And then I tweeted, I'm going to be the richest person to graduate from Colby Cathedral 10 years from now. And I tweeted it, and anybody can find the tweet because it's all over my Instagram, it's all over my Facebook. And we're in year 9 now because I said it in 2012, and I'm by far, it's not even close. It's not even
10, almost 10 years already.
Yeah, it's 2012 when I tweeted that. And my net worth by a fifth, and nobody's even close to it. And I knew I was going to get there. That's not even being cocky. I just knew I was going to get there.
That's
back to the point you said.
Yes, sir.
It's a train, and people forcefully got off that train. I've had parties with girlfriends who've left. I've had WrestleMania parties with friends who got off the train. I've had, family members who got off the train because of my dad or my mom. Great, stay off. Don't come back now.
Yo, it's crazy you say that, man. Like you said, like you use, and this is how I know. This is why me and you connect when we connect, because the way you think is we think similar. You said train, I said bus, but the analogy is the same.
That's the exact same.
So
you done got me hyped up now, bro. I'm like,
come on, man.
Relax, man. I'm
playing. Stop playing, bro. Jersey, bro. You already know, bro. Stop playing.
I gotta relax.
Listen. So what I was gonna say was, right, I have another question. The question was, right, what was the biggest trial? What would you say is the biggest trials and tribulations you faced on your way to success? to where you are right now in real time, present time.
Does age limit have to be a thing?
Whatever you consider it.
So as a kid, the biggest trials and tribulations I faced, I wouldn't even count kid because there's no control of me, right? It's my parents who I got.
Yeah.
So as an adult,
Yeah, right. When you had an adult mind on your way to right now, what do you think is your biggest trials?
Biggest trial and tribulation that maybe rephrase, because I got a lot. Maybe rephrase the question. Trial and tribulation that stopped me or almost stopped me from getting here, or was like a roadblock where I was just
something
like
that didn't you really bad.
That
something
what?
Something that didn't you really bad.
Oh, a lot. First, my breakup with my ex-girlfriend, because she was the world to me, and then got shattered. You know what I mean? So that obviously legacy. Number two was dropping out of college. I forcefully did that, right? I had to do that knowing that all my I had to watch all my friends graduate the next year. And by the stereotype, they all should be getting good jobs. And by the stereotype, I should be a lowlife, basically. Not them saying that. That's the world stereotype. Number three was getting on Big Brother and then getting eliminated second. So I didn't get the opportunities or the sponsorships or collaborations or the money everybody else got. People think I got a lot of money. I got $3,000 for being on Big Brother, while my peers are getting 20 and 30 and all that extra stuff. Right? I got tax for being on for 23 days. But number four, most importantly, was one of the biggest trials and tribulation was getting a wife. And I don't regret it. She's the best thing that happened to me. And she helped me get to millions where I am now, right? But when you have a wife or a kid, a different wave of responsibility comes over you, right? When I was single and I was struggling, I had $2 in my bank account and in college, and I could only afford a Pop-Tart and water. Nobody knew. And I could take it because it's me. I can handle those things. But when I'm broke with a wife because I didn't get the same opportunities that social media had, and I stopped trading to focus on TV because I thought I was going to be the next Will Smith until I hated it, and you're broke and you got to provide for them, her family's looking at me like, what are you doing for my daughter? Like, how are you going to provide? And then that type of pressure is a different pressure. But it also caused me to get here because I got into a different bag once that happened, like a way different bag.
Yeah, that's powerful that you say that, because that's literally the measures of that's the unspoken measures of what men go through, especially where the trials and tribulations factor in, especially if you do have a family, especially if you do have a wife, because you are the provider, you are the protector, you are the one that's going to drive the boat. You understand? So when you're doing that, when you're doing these type of things, the unspoken pressures that we deal with in regards of that.
A lot.
We can complain, because if we complain, we're going to stay the same.
Sure.
So what we do is we take matters into our own hands. You understand? And this is what you did. This is why, I tell you, bro, I admire you for that, because a lot of men can and they do play the blame game, and they do make excuses, and they do not look within themselves to grab that inner power, that energy. Yeah, I'm on my battle rap stuff right now.
The energy, but the
energy, you feel me? They grab that energy and pull it out and show the world, yo, listen, I'm going to war for mine. I'm not playing no games. And it is what it is.
Not wrong.
So, and that brings me to this too, because like you said, the trials and tribulations. Did you what about losing someone? Did you ever go through that?
Yeah, losing my dad was a big it wasn't a big trial. The trial was I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him. That was the one there, because he raised me, right? It wasn't necessarily my mom who raised me from birth. It was my dad for the first 15 years of my life. And he was sick for about 10 years, but he wasn't real bad. It's like the last 4. So the first 6 was just in and out of the hospital, a little light stuff.
Yeah.
But I just didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him. He died, and then nobody knew where he was for 3 days. I was calling his phone. I'm thinking he went to the hospital or something. And the manager, I called the manager and basically said, oh, you have permission, open the door. I don't care. And then she opened the door. So my dad dead, So that was the biggest trial. But it was also a blessing, because I just couldn't see him on this earth struggling as much as he was. He was only 49 years old too.
Wow.
He was very, very young. So, so it was a blessing, where it's I'm glad he's not struggling no more, but it was also a trial, it was very, very hard because I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him,
something that I always highlight when I talk to people is something called your inner child, and it's something that's suppressed due to social engineering by way of social construct, right? So inner child is something where Swaggy C knew exactly what he wanted to be as a kid. He was a kid who had no problems, and inner child is your most authentic self in essence, right?
Yeah.
It's the person without the stigmas of being a millionaire, and it's the person who can watch mankind get thrown off the Hell in a Cell by Undertaker and stuff like that. It's that, right? What would you tell? What would you give? What advice would you give your child self or your teenage self? What would you tell yourself? 16, 15, 14, around that bracket. What would you tell yourself, man?
Oh, just stay the course. I wouldn't tell him anything. It was crazy because that kid is a very, very smart and bright kid, and everything he said he was going to do, he did. So I wouldn't tell. It wasn't like I learned some experience where it's like, don't do it, be careful. Ain't no be careful. Like you love this girl, be with her. She may break your heart, and in a few years, great. You're gonna learn from it, right? You're
Yes.
cocky now, and you're saying you're gonna be the richest person when you leave. Say it because it's going to happen 10 years from now, right? Like
Right.
so I don't regret anything. I wouldn't tell my younger self anything at 15 or 16, especially. Maybe at 13, 12, or 11, I'd say like start focusing on your future a little early instead of playing around and playing video games at 12 and 13 years old. Because even though you're poor, I think when you're in 5th grade and 6th grade, all you think about is that crutch, right? That something to escape. And video games was that for me. But instead, I used to babysit in Greenwich, and there was rich kids, but there was like 4th graders learning about the stock market, and when I was just getting on. So I'm just, wow, I see the difference, right? So I would tell my, I guess, younger self that, but as a high schooler, no, the high school Swaggy or Chris is the exact person that I am, and he knows what he's doing.
Wow. And just to double back real quick about Pops, man. R.I.P. to Pops, man. Give thanks to him for making somebody like you, bro, because you're inspiring the world. What would you tell Pops, man? What words would you give to Pops?
I just hope that I made him proud, right? Because I did a lot since he left, and Big Brother was his favorite show, right? Not necessarily mine, was his. Ended up being my favorite show, but I got it from him. Made a lot of money, money him and my mom has never seen before, and my mom is enjoying the fruits of the labor, but he's not, right?
Shout out Mom. Shout out Mom. Mom's the truth.
Right?
Mom's the truth.
All his sicknesses could have went away because his sicknesses had to deal with like finances, couldn't afford hospital, procedures and surgeries because it was too expensive, right? All of that could have completely went away.
Yeah.
And no, most important is that I love him, and I really, really wish he could see where I am right now, right? But maybe again, he had to go for me to tap into that inner level, right? Because maybe I would have been distracted, like being so worried about him. So I don't know. Everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
I would tell him that. Wish you could see what I'm doing now.
Wow, it's powerful, man. And shout out to you for staying the course no matter what, bro. Because a lot of people don't have that. Like for me, bro, like my story. Like I lost my sister, bro. I lost my brother and my sister in my life. So I know what it's like to use the struggle as a crutch. But there's always a time where when things like that happen, like we created our success through trauma. I always tell people that like the most successful people go through a lot of trauma to gather that success. And for me right now, being here in real time, doing what I'm doing, inspiring the world, doing motivational speaking, talking to Eric Thomas, talking to people like you know what I'm saying, talking to people like Daylight, like there's a story behind all of that, because at one point I didn't know how to speak. I never knew how to articulate nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to know, like I was put in special ed as a kid. People thought, like I was put in that box. I was put in that box as a kid of, oh, he's incompetent to learn because of his background and because, what happened at the crib last night. I'm traumatized from that. I got to take a bullshit test tomorrow.
Listen, people don't know about being in the streets and seeing somebody get killed, seen it, and then you got to go to school the next day. They don't know that.
And like, bro, I saw that day in and day out.
They don't know.
So I'm in class trying to take a test, and I can't take the test because I'm like, I got to go back home. I got to go back to that place. I got to go back there. Like, I don't care about no test.
Yeah, that's the last of my words right now.
Yeah, bro. And like, after that, you know, it's just like you just take matters, like you said, like your 13-year-old self, your 12-year-old self was playing video games to escape, but you learned early that you had to cut that off. That's that. I would say for me something like that was similar because, like, I had to grow up early. I had to grow up at 10 years old, 9 years old. I had to babysit. I had to do a lot of things. I was reading dictionaries at 10. I was learning new words. I was saying college words at 12. I'm saying Portuguese at 13. They like that. Oh, that means beautiful. You know, you didn't know. So I took matters into my own hands. Like, and it's crazy how, like, you know, you say the same thing. You just took matters into your own hands to make it to where you are now, man. That leads to my next question, bro. And this is probably the question where a lot of people want to ask you. I'm gonna ask for millions of people probably. Do you remember the day you first made your first million, and where were you, and how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I woke up. I was in bed. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. But no, I didn't care. I didn't put too much emphasis on it. I said, I tell everybody to this day, my first 100K was a lot more meaningful than $1 million, right? When I got 100K, you know, you just reached a six-figure mark, a mark that 99% of the world won't ever reach, or they'll reach one time and that's it. So when I got there, you know, I had a dinner with my wife and we celebrated because we knew what was about to come. We knew we were about to elevate. Like, it took me so long to hit six figures, and then it took me 2 months to hit $1 million after that, right? So it's like because, and I say this all the time, when you hit six figures, and Steve Harvey talks about it, one of his motivational videos where he's just like,
Steve.
Yeah, shout out to Steve. He was just like, once you figure out what you have, all you got to do is duplicate it, right? So when you get to six figures, you know what works. You made six figures off of it. Great. Do it 10 more times, right? Like, right, do it over and over again until you get $1 million. And then it's like, when the reason why six figures is such a barrier, because you're trying anything to make work, right? I'm trying battle rap, I'm trying reality TV, but I'm babysitting, but I'm also trying trading, but I'm also trying, you know, basketball and potentially overseas, right? I'm doing a million different things. I'm not honing in on what I'm really passionate about. Then when the first thing makes six figures, great, do that. Forget everything else, do that. And then it's like, oh, it comes really easy after that. So $1 million didn't mean much to me. The second, the third, none of that meant anything to me. The first 100K meant a lot to me.
That's some humbling stuff right there, dog. Because average person would obviously, if they weren't as strong-minded as you, they would say the first $1 million meant a lot. But just for you to point that out about the six-figure mark, because that's a bracket. Once you get to that bracket, it's like everything, literally everything.
The whole mindset changes. Everything changes. Everything changes, and it's a lot easier to get to that first $1 million. I'm actually shocked that people who make six figures, that's not a stable job, right? Because 9 to 5, you have no control of that. You're just working a job.
Right.
A business, an entrepreneur business where you work for yourself and you made six figures with that business, there's no reason why you shouldn't ever hit 7. You did something wrong. Like, and it's going to be that fast. It may take you extra 2 years, 3 years. Great. But you should at least hit $1 million at some point in time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow. That's how it goes. Would you say being wealthy is stressful?
Yes, very, very stressful. People think my stress goes down. Now, I've said this before in an interview with Caitlin Herman. She had a QLC podcast where she interviews people about like their life. And for me, I was saying that I don't want to, like, we're still in a global pandemic right now, and there's people who got a lot more stress than somebody with millions of dollars, right? There's way more stress on that end, so I don't even want to compare it.
Right.
But I also don't want to minimize it. She also taught me not to minimize it. And don't want to minimize making $1 million or making money and having stress, right? Because people understand, people look at you to pay for everything. Like every single family member you haven't talked to in 20 years. I'm 26, 20 years. You to pay for stuff, buy them this, buy them a car. I got cousins who want me to buy them a house, and I haven't talked to them since I was 15, right? Because I got it in their mind, right? What else is there? You're expected to be at a different standard. You got to hold myself a little bit different, right? Now, I feel for everybody's pain. I got friends, you know, who are struggling, right? Like I got friends in Jersey and even Bridgeport, you know, struggling, and they're struggling with like an $1,000 rent. So of course, I'll send them 5 or 10,000 just to hold them off for 10 months, and hopefully they can get on their feet and figure something out, right? Like I take everybody else's problems because I know it's rooted in money, which was my problem. The only issue is, and I would feel like, you know, an a-hole if I said it to them, but I don't, is that when we were both 18, you partied every single week. You was, you know, being around different relationships. You was not taking anything financially seriously. You didn't take school seriously. You didn't take a job seriously. You didn't take your craft seriously. You thought you'd figure it out the minute you graduate. You thought a bachelor degree would get you money. Me at 18, I was studying finance. I did not party. I was not worried about anything specific. I was doing what I'm doing now. And that's why it doesn't surprise me that I'm here now. But at the same time, I also have to make sure that these people are okay, because, like, again, I don't tell them these things. Right? I've never said to them a day in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know how I got here. I didn't get here because of luck. When people, back to being an entrepreneur, people underestimate how hard it is to get here. People think I just got here overnight. No, I've been doing this for 7, 8 years now, right? People who've been doing what they're doing for 2 years are like, "Why I'm not successful here?" Do you realize in year 2, I was 20 years old, still with $2 in my bank account, right? Like, it takes time. People underestimate and then they quit because they think being an entrepreneur isn't for them. No, it is. Well, no, it's not. But Gary Vee says it. He was working at his dad's liquor store for 15 years before he started VaynerMedia.
Right.
It takes time, right? So, to answer your question, being wealthy is stressful because I take everybody's problems as my own. On top of that, I still got to worry about my own family at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I like how you say that, like I was telling you before, like earlier, survivor's guilt. Because then, because of who you are, you're a real honorable man. And you honor family. You honor people. You honor people, period. And you show love all the time. But it's like everybody, it's like the angle some people pull you at. You kind of,
man.
You like, damn, man, you know? And then, like, you know, also what I wanted to ask you was, like you were saying earlier, does the money change you, or does it change the people around you?
No, it changes the people around you. It doesn't change me at all. I think when you come across money, it may enhance you a little bit, right? Like I can 100% say I feel more confident as a man with a lot of money than when I was broke for some reason. I just do. I just feel confident, like I'm a provider. Like, you can't tell me nothing. I don't need nothing from you. You can't do nothing for me. All these celebrities, you can't do nothing for me. I make my own money. I'm good. So I do feel more confident as a man than I did when I was broke. I'm not insecure about little things. I'm not insecure about who my wife is texting or who may do X. I'm not insecure about any of that. Whereas, like, as a little boyfriend, when I'm 20 years old, 21 years old, it's an even playing field. Now, you got to find somebody who got a net worth of 10 mil, who's going to make 100 mil in the next 5 years, and who will treat you like a queen, who will still clean. And find somebody. You can do your thing. Like E.T. says it all the time. Like E.T. says, Didi, his wife, right? Like, when he was broke, it's different. But now that I'm E.T., the hip hop preacher, and I still cook and clean and iron and clean and do all, you gonna find another man? Good luck to him.
Right.
He got to do what I do, right? So it does not change me. It'll enhance me. Like, I'm more confident for sure now. But it definitely changes the people. They act different, right? The people who hated me. I mean, like, they would post statuses about me on Facebook when Facebook was lit and hated me, who are singing praises about me now in my DMs. Like, I mean, just one people from high school and college who are the biggest fans of Chris and Swaggy now, who was not there. That's why I put Jones at such a pedestal, because Jones never got off the train. Whether I was right or wrong situation, Jones was there.
Listen,
that's my guy for life.
Jones is the truth, man. Y'all gotta, man. We gotta have Jones up here next time, dog. I would love to. That'd be dope. That's somebody right there who I noticed. That was your right hand man from the jump. You understand? Like, that was your right hand man from the jump. You understand?
What's crazy is he became my right hand man like junior year, right? I had a few other right hand mans my freshman year, but he just came in and he was just loyal, right? For every single day that I've known him, man.
Yeah, bro. And I just want to know, because, you know, I'm a motivational speaker, right? And I always tell people this, like, yo, bro, I be waking up, man. I don't be want to do nothing, though. Sometimes, like, I get that feeling. But I think what overrides that is the discipline that I have and knowing in the mission that I have to accomplish, right? So with you, right, although you don't get motivated daily, or let me double back. What keeps you motivated daily? And if not, what keeps you at a disciplined level? What would you say? What do you think of? What tools do you have? What indicators, what indicators do you have to, you know, help you out, that to keep that narrow mind of where you know going.
Knowing nobody else is gonna do it if I don't. I die tomorrow, a lot of lives are ruined, right? And I'm not talking about trading, I'm talking about my family, right? A lot of people are riding on me, right? Like me, they're riding on me, right? And my little brother, I think he can take the reins as well, you know, with his career. I think his is gonna take, you know, maybe like another year to really
Shout out DJ. Shout out DJ.
I think he's gonna
Hey,
blow up.
DJ, yo, you see this, bro?
Yeah,
Big body, dog. Hey, I don't want to apologize though, because I remember
he's a fighter, bro.
I remember your brother told me, you know what I'm saying, y'all was fighting before and you got him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want those problems, but
He did. No, I think he can take the reins for sure. I think my older brother, I think he's good, but I don't think he has aspirations of being like 100 millionaire, right? I think he'll be cool with like
shout out Carl too.
I think he'll be cool with 5 million and then be cool, right? Which is more than enough. But since me and DJ struggled, like Carl was never homeless. Like me and DJ were literally homeless, sleeping in cars on top of each other for months, and then went to a homeless shelter for years. DJ has the same goals as me. DJ wants to hit 100 mil, right? DJ has goals as me, so it's just taking maybe an extra year for him to achieve what he wants to do. But I do think what keeps me motivated is that right this second, a lot of people depend on me, and if I like, people can sleep in. I can't sleep in. If I do, it won't affect today, but it may affect day 33, right? Because habits start to form, right? And I can't have that. I can't get complacent. Like I gotta get to a certain threshold, right? Like it makes no sense if I got 2 penthouses, right? And I can't get my mom a house. I can, and I can, and I am, and I will, right? She doesn't want a house right now. She just wants a nice luxury condo, but it makes no, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like if I'm only striving for 1 mil, yeah, me, first of all, you can't even get a great house for 1 mil, depending on where you're at. Like 1 mil, that's another topic, right? But 1 mil to take care of you and your immediate family, but is that going to take care of your brothers and your wife? And I feel like as a duty, you can't be selfish and be like, oh, I got a new family now, which you do, but that's the immediate family. You still have an obligation. If you are the only person to hit 1 million in your family, and 1 million is a trait and a money feature that most, like 99.1% of the world will never, ever, ever reach in their life. And if you
say it again.
Probably 99.1 or 2% of people will never ever hit $1 million in their career. And if they
slow it down.
Realistically, like the majority of the world, 99%, if not 99.1 or 0.2, will never ever 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 touch 1 million. That's not me saying it. Those are the stats. Check it out. For the last 60 years, I do a lot of research on, you know, money statistics, right? They will never hit it. And if you're so lucky to hit 1 million and more, you now have an obligation to not only take care of your immediate family, but the family you grew up with, right? Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your immediate first cousin who was there for you, not your lost cousin you haven't talked to in 16 years. You have that duty and obligation. And I feel like I have that now.
Wow. And like for you to take that on, bro, when you don't have to, is an honorable thing, bro. You want to know why it's so honorable? Because it shows that you still have the mindset of a person who's humble. You know what I'm saying? Who's still humble from, you know, a God-fearing man who's humble, where, you know, you on a time where like, hey, listen, like I know what I had to go through. I know what I had to do to get here. I know my story. I never lost track of it. You never lose track of your story. And that's what I honor about you, because there are people who get to where you are and they forget everything. Like they don't.
There's 2 ways to go about that too, because one, you get everything and be super cocky and forget everybody. But the other, which is completely different, is most of the world don't have the discipline to wake up every single morning at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. If they did, they'd be where we are, or you're not, right? They'd be where we are, right? Yeah. Discipline. People don't understand that before you hit $1 million, you got to have years of discipline. Nobody, unless you just got lucky at the lottery, you're just going to hit $1 million tomorrow, right? All these motivational, like Mark Cuban was like, he sold obviously broadcast.com and all that stuff. He was working on that for years. So like the discipline you're building up, like I remember doing that when I was like 18, reading Tony Robbins' book, and making sure I'm good, waking up early, super early in the morning, going on walks, having a whole day. People talk about LeBron James having 4 different Hall of Fame careers. Kobe having 2 different Hall of Fame careers with 8 and 24. I remember having a whole day before people even woke up, and then had a second day when people are still on their first day, right?
Oh, what? Talk about it, bro.
That takes time. So so back to the question, I know people don't have that discipline. I know I do. So that's why it's just like, all right, I will make sure everybody's okay, right? And there's another trait which you just brought up where it's you get there, you're super cocky. So it's one of the other.
Wow, bro. What advice would you give all people out there who's looking to, be a trader and go in the field you're doing, your field of expertise? What advice would you give those type of people out there?
Understand it's not easy. Understand it's not easy, but it can be done. The issue that people have is that with anything they want in life, they give it the appropriate time. They don't care what it is, right? They give school 12 years because they have to, whatever. But they will work. I have a friend who I just saw, and she was still working at a Foot Locker, and she's been there for 11 years. She's been there since I was a 15-year-old in a sophomore in college. And shout out to her. Nobody sees an issue with that, right? But they see an issue with, I need to make this money in trading in 2 weeks, or I don't want to do it no more. So people understand you got to give it the correct time, because when you try to give trading 2 weeks, even though a year, it's not that easy where you can just take a year and just do it and you're going to make a lot of money. But they know that you can make money with this, so they're so quick, and that's why a lot of people fail, because they jump off because they're trying to make money so fast. Whereas other jobs, they will be there for 10 years. Because why? Because they're getting a check every single Friday, right? Or bi-weekly. They see that the fruits of their labor from their work. You don't see that with trading. You'll see it year 3, and if you can stick around that long, right? Yeah. So the advice would be is you have it's not easy, but you got to understand, if you give it the appropriate time, you put yourself in a good situation to try to be a part of that 10% who make it. And again, last thing is, I just made a video about this 2 days ago. People look at 90% of day traders fail, and they don't look at 99.9% of people trying to get to the NFL or NBA fail, but they push you towards it, right? They push you towards it. There's only 450 people in the NBA. There's millions of people trying to get there. And out of that 450, there's about 100 who are solidified. Steph, LeBron, they're not getting their spots taken overnight, right? But even people like Buddy Hield, he will always have an NBA contract. So out of that 450, that's why there's only 60 players in the draft. Only 60 newcomers are going to come in, and realistically, only about 20 spots are going to get taken, while the other 40 are going to go overseas in the G League. And people are still pushing for that NBA. And the world is saying, keep striving, you'll get there. When it comes to day trading, they're just like, oh, 90% fail, be careful. 90% of how many, right? You got 10% make it, 10% of how many? If there's 1 million traders, that means 100,000 are successful. There's not 100,000 successful NBA players, right? There's only 450. The rest overseas are struggling for money, except unless you play in Spain and you're the top player. So you gotta be realistic about certain things.
Yo, that's something that I had to realize. Like, me and you, both former college athletes, damn near pro athletes. I played semi-pro. I got the experience to do that, and I recognize, I'm like, I can't believe, like, I saw the numbers. I saw the stats. 2.5% of people make it to the NFL and be successful there. I said, all right, am I going to be part of that 98, 97.5% of people who don't make it? Or can I take another route, right? And stop trying something that everybody else doing and take a different approach. And this is something you did. Like, that's why I said I admire you, because you could have went pro. You could have done what everybody else was doing, shooting for. You say, you know what? I'm not going to party. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to do none of the things that's going to serve as a detriment to my well-being and my character and my future. And you say, you know what? Oh, I can make money literally sitting on my ass. Like, I can do it. But it don't necessarily mean I'm sitting on my ass. No. I'm doing everything necessary to get my mind right to do this. And what you did was you transmuted the energy that you had into that and made it to where now you're a multimillionaire because of the work you put in and the different approach that you took in regards of doing it. And that's something that I had to do. When I got overseas, when I played Iceland and everything like that, like, I was like, yo, I cried when I was there, because I was like, there's people from my hood who can't say they did this. I thought about everything. I'm like, yo, I really came from. I used to watch Nat Geographic as a kid, and I used to see the Icelandic mountains there. I visualized myself in those mountains there when I was a kid in like 2000. I used to tell my uncle and my father, like, yo, pops, like, can we ever go there? Hey, if you put your mind to it, if you really put your mind to it. I didn't take that lightly. I said, oh, if I really put my mind to it, don't give up. Oh, that means I gotta do a lot of things most people won't to get to a place most people don't. A lot of people don't get to go to Iceland. Like, they don't get to do that. They don't get to play overseas over there. And then, you know, you walk in there as a nobody, everybody looking at you because you're from America. But then after the game, you score a touchdown. They're like, yo, I know you. You was this. Everybody cheering you on. I know what that's like. I know you know what that's like from having 100, from having $2 in your account to going to 100K to being multi-millionaire. You know how to changes go. You know how to move with those, man. With that being said, man, like, I just want to say, like, that is very inspiring. And for people watching right now, man, like, what me and Swaggy do on a daily, what we're doing, the mission that we're on, is unspoken, but it's clearly seen by a lot of people and things. And what I want to say is that no matter what you're going through right now, right, no matter what, and if you see a group of people, if you're in a group of people that's doing the same thing and it ain't working for them, you know in your right mind it ain't gonna work for you, because you part of that bracket that they're in. So what you got to do is what me and Swaggy did, right, at 18, 19, even younger than that. All right, I know there's a family cycle that's going on that's not benefiting me. I know this already. We knew this. We take initiative. We make things happen. We go. No matter how long it take, we go and do it. So what I'm saying to y'all right now, y'all watching, this is living proof of it. This guy right here is living proof of it. He telling you. He giving y'all the tools. He giving y'all the game. He giving y'all the motivation. He giving y'all everything down, the truth, and it's raw. Take from it. Extract what you can take from it, because there's not going to be many people that's going to be spitting game like this in life like this. Because where we from, there's not a lot of people who don't even have the knowledge or the mental capacity to withhold this type of information. So what I'm saying is, man, do everything opposite of what the people before you did, or the people around you that's doing the same thing over and over, drinking, smoking, partying, you know, always trying to be with the next girl, not focusing on their purpose. Because look, last time I checked, if you focus on that P, you ain't ever gonna get to the other P, which is purpose. Know what I mean? So the thing about that, y'all watching, right? When you focus on that P too much, the girl gonna see you focus on that P, right? She gonna be like, well, where's the other P? That means you ain't getting this P. Real talk. So what you got to do is you got to take initiative and do everything different. Focus on your purpose, man. Purpose will get you to a mitigated prosperity. This guy's living proof. And that's all I got to say about that. Any closing statements?
No. Real quick to talk about what you just said. Wives do that, right? If you meet a good girl, she will make sure you got a purpose. A lot of girls who just do it for no reason, they don't. I vividly remember in college, I was so focused on my purpose. No, not too many girls wanted to be around me because I was so locked in. They wanted to be around the athletes and who was focused on them. And
That's
now
right.
a lot of them have come back to try to be, even when I'm with Bailey, right?
Yep.
Like they don't care.
They bold.
Wives will, you know, look at you that, yo, you're so driven, you have a purpose, as like, wow, that's attractive. Girls, which is 90% of people out there, will be like, oh, you're focused too much on work, like,
Right.
or your purpose. Like, that's I remember telling the girl, real quick before I go, I remember telling this girl, this was a year before I met Bailey, 21 years old, my dreams. I said, I just watched a motivational like speaker for the first time talk about finance. I think I was actually not 21, I was like 18 or 19. And I told this girl my whole dream. When I said I sent like a long message, like, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I feel really inspired right now. She said, oh, tell me. I was like, I feel this, that. I feel like I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. I want to have a big house, this and that. Like, I just watched this video. Just a long message. All she said was, LOL, good luck. That's it. That's all she said. And I didn't respond to that.
Wow.
For some reason, I never understood why she just said that. So 4 years, I just stopped talking to her. 4 years later, when I became rich and she commented on one of my statuses saying, "Wow, you really did it," or like a little, I guess, the little emoji. I said, "Yeah, you told me LOL good luck a few years ago, and clearly you didn't believe in me." And she was like, "Yeah, I didn't think that you would get here." It kind of turned me off when you were saying all of that because I wasn't too focused on my life and my career at 22, 23, what I wanted to do in life. And here you are at 18 saying I'm gonna be a millionaire, and then there's no millionaires in Bridgeport. Yeah, good luck with it. It's a pipe dream, right? And this is what she told me, and she was honest about the fact when I'm 25.
Transparency.
Thank you for being honest. Now let me go back to what I'm going. This doesn't mean you can just come back into my life, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm back on my purpose. So it's just it's like wives will see you on your purpose, and they will help get you further, like Bailey did, as opposed to just, "Oh, you're doing too much." So that's all I can say. But as closing remarks about the whole thing, I just hope people understand that focus on what you really want to accomplish. You don't got to be a millionaire. You don't got to be a billionaire like I'm trying to do. You can literally make 100K and live a great life. What matters is if you're happy. Me, I had a very bad childhood with money, so I'm obsessed with making more money now. And not for myself. I want to build shelters for people. Like, I lived in a bad homeless shelter, didn't really have really much access. I want to build like a nice big shelter with like clothes and actual legit food, and help them get haircuts every weekend, and make sure they get job applications, fix their resumes. Like, I want to do that. I want to build schools. I want to build not only trading schools, but actually physical schools as well, so they can teach what's supposed to be taught in schools. Like, I'm really trying to change the whole educational system. I'm trying to be, I have really big dreams. I'm really trying to be not a billionaire for myself, but I'm trying to create things that nobody would create if they got $1 billion. Like Jeff Bezos is going to space, and shout out to him. I know when I get $1 billion, I'm changing lives. I'm trying to fix world hunger. I'm trying to do a lot of things, right? And I'm on a purpose right now. But for you, not you, Speedy, but you as in the viewer, do what makes you happy. What makes you happy is going to the movies every Friday, making 100K, and sitting back. Do it. Do not try to be like me if you can't.
Don't try to be like me neither, man. A lot of people can't do motivational speaking every damn day. That's for sure. That's for sure.
People try to imitate, and they can't.
Yeah. A lot of people try to emulate and imitate, and they're gonna end up disappointed in the long run because they're gonna realize they were living out somebody else's dream and not theirs.
Not their own. And they're never gonna get there.
All right, man. All right. So in closing, man, I got one more thing. Are you willing to race Speedy in a foot race for $100 or what? What's up?
Hell no.
Come on, dog.
I'll play you in basketball for 100, or we can do a best two out of 3 foot race.
I'm winning one.
You gonna win the foot race? I'm gonna beat you in basketball, and we gotta figure out what we can do for the third one.
For the third one, I would say, I don't know. That's a good question. I think I have to get back on that.
You think about it and you hit me up.
Listen, bro, I'm with everything, man. Look, I'm out of that. Look, when it comes to the basketball thing, listen, I got the D Rose floaters, man. I'm good, bro. You feel me? I get buckets. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably beat you to the basket, but I'll probably get my shit pinned because I'm short. So
we can do horse. We can do horse. We can do a shoot. We can do anything.
Horse. See, the thing is about horse. I already know what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to do like some dunking shit, man.
No, I'm shooting. I don't gotta dunk. I can't even dunk no more.
You can't dunk no more.
No, I can still dunk, but I haven't dunked.
Come on. Hey, man, listen. Y'all heard the man. Y'all, I'm glad, man. First and foremost, I'm live, bro. I'm gonna tell people, bro. This guy has been an inspiration for me, for the people around me. You understand? And he's been doing a lot of great things for the world, man. And like I said, bro, I'm so glad that you up here, man, and you're doing your thing. And there's a lot more to go. Keep going, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Keep going, but like keep going, bro.
Trust me, I don't plan on stopping.
All you gotta do, bro, is keep going, keep doing your thing, and you know what I'm saying, bro. Hit me up, man. We gonna get some things going right now because first of all, I'm winning the foot race. I'm at least give you a few letters in horse. Well, first and most importantly, we gonna come together and change the world, bro. You understand?
For sure, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, bro. So, like I said, man, Speedy Tribe in full effect. The Swag Academy is in full effect. Swaggy C is here. Speedy is here.
Man.
We just were here, and now we signing out, man. Y'all already know, man. Guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
Always.